city sleeps, but I'm wide awake. Clock keeps laughing at my fate. Streetlights flicker on my skin. Empty bottle crawling sin. Walls are closing, breath turns
Stream
cold.
Elements said the busy builder is now live. Streaming miniatures.
Whispers crawling up my spine, counting scars that aren't mine. After midnight, monsters crawl, screaming, silence fills the walls. Shadows twisting in my head, wish the darkness left me dead. After midnight, eyes go red, broken voices in my bed. I can't run, I can't hide, all my demons stay inside. Windows rattle, nerves ignite, wasted hours kill the light. Lips are bitten, thoughts decay. Pray for sleep, it slips away. Dreams are haunted, can't escape. Another promise I will make. Mirror shows a stranger's face, lost in time I can't erase. After midnight, monsters crawl, screaming, silence fills the walls. Shadows twisting in my
Hello.
wish the darkness left me dead. After
So we're gonna start painting.
eyes go red, broken voices in my bed.
This ought to be interesting.
I can't hide, all my demons stay inside. I'm not scared, just tired and numb. If morning comes, I won't succumb. Another night, another fight. Burn my hope in neon light. After midnight, monsters crawl, screaming, silence fills the walls. Shadows twisting in my head, wish the darkness left me dead. After midnight, eyes go red, broken voices in my
Okay. So let's move you over here for now.
I can't hide, all my demons stay inside.
Doing a little pre-shading in the hopes that it'll help break up the monotony of the base color when I put it on. There's other things we're going to do too. I moved the camera up as well because all the moving, especially when we get to the main hull, probably wind up bumping it a lot.
Missed yesterday some pre-shade I see. Nice.
How you doing? You've been quiet again. I was waiting for that final Viper video. but it never came. But I hope everything's going alright. Hey, Arist. How you doing? So are you at work today, or are you off for the weekend? Or does it vary depending on government facility? Whoop. Bugga bugga.
A Pumadel student 20 said, yes, I have been dormant. I have to post soon. The Viper is done. Grinning face with sweat on
Ah, gotcha.
are installing new water heaters.
So you've just been busy.
Got lots of stuff on the go. Air Studio setting up. Helping Black set up server.
Is this a WoW server? Whoop! Yeah, I can't hold this thing very well. This is gonna be fun when it comes to actual painting. So I'll be painting this one up as the turret number is 1111 or 1111. It may actually still exist because there's photos showing it in a storage house at a facility which is now current day Bovington.
I have been taking stock in my channel as well. Not so what to do yet. Views have been a bit dismal phase with
If I worried about the views all the time, I wouldn't be streaming right now. They come, they go, you have good days, you have bad days. I've had more than I have now. Life gets in the way, you lose viewers. It happens all the time.
Air Studio said, what do you think of the paint job on my tank?
I like it. I think if you get the exhaust areas painted in more, get some kind of rusty looking stuff going on, especially once you start the weathering, it should come together really nice. If I didn't have so many other things on the go, I'd say I'll get one and we'll build it the same way. I couldn't paint a straight line if you paid me. But that's not the point of appreciating. You think everybody's hands were squeaky clean when they opened and closed these stowage panels? And that's what this is to simulate. With dirt and grease that gets embedded in the paint. And other things. Shadows. It just helps to really just break up the overall plainness. If I'd just gone in and painted this dark yellow, it would be boring. I don't know how much of it's going to be visible in the end. I just figured it's a shot. It's been a very long time since I've done this color, so last time I did it was my Stug 4. That was a couple years ago.
I like that scale actually. I should try it.
Well, that's where my dilemma is. I know the current stream goal, where are you? Right here, is for the Leopard 2A7. There's 3 other options though, because I've got 2 Leopard 2s. They're big. I don't really have room for one more, especially a static one. If you guys want to see me do the Leopard, I'll do the Leopard. I know others have said they don't care as long as I'm building something, which, it's fair. You know, I'll give you that. The other options are an M113 with full interior. It's a Vietnam era one, which, given some of the figures that are out there on the market and other supplies, I could do a really interesting singular vehicle again, like this one. There's also Tacom does a 251 half track, either C or D, I think, or is it main? Yeah, it's both. Kind of like the one with the rockets, but without the rockets. They also do a 250 half track, which is a smaller version of the 251. I'm kind of leaning towards the 113. I don't mind German stuff. I just don't want the channel seeming to become German-centric. But you all tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. Hey, Atomic Tiki, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. And I appreciate that. But you can see how even on just the plastic, how the pre-shading breaks it up and makes it more visually interesting. So it should work a little bit underneath the dark yellow. Main goal today is let's just get this base painted in the camo. Gotta add a little more. We're running out.
Production said he soup last month. Are you going to make a conversation kit from regular 50mm Puma to pack 40 Puma in future?
Probably not.
Thumbs up emoji, thumbs up emoji, thumbs up emoji, thumbs up emoji.
And thanks for the sub. The main reason being the current conversion kits out there right now are running 2 to 3 times the cost of just the base model. I think it would be better to wait and play the long game and see if TACOM releases them on their own. They did with the Weasel. They did the Weasel 1 tow, and then a few months to a year later, they released the Weasel 1 20mm. So I'm going to play the waiting game and see what they do in that regard. Because the other aspect of that is I'm not about to spend $120 on this, and then another $300 to $400 on the conversion kit to wind up throwing half of this kit away. Because the conversion replaces the upper hull.
I've been thinking I want to get the Mobius 1/8 space pod this year and take it on. Try lighting it and everything. Maybe over the winter season.
If you can get it at a local shop, get it there. You want to check the parts. Depending on when it was released, Mobius packed the treads in. Oh, you're talking the space pod. Sorry, I'm thinking the land crawler. Yeah, space pod you should be fine. If you wanted to do the Land Rover one, depending on when it was released, they threw the treads in with the clear parts, and the rubber of the treads ate into the clear parts.
JCL 1944 Production said also, if I remember, didn't the Wehrmacht make the paper covered vehicle out of the Puma? Same element, all red question mark emoji, red question mark emoji.
I don't particularly know. I'm not as much of a weeaboo as I used to be, so my information's about 20 years out of date.
As Model Student 20 said the space pod that is.
Yeah, space pod you should be fine. It's the crawler, the snowcat with the clear canopy on it, that they screwed up by shipping the tracks in with the clear parts. But as far as information about the recovery version, maybe ask around Missing Links or one of the other forums that's more suitable for that. I personally don't know. Information on this vehicle is hard to get to begin with. Fucking knee. The main reason I got this is because the wife bought me the figures for it, and they only fit this, and I didn't want to waste the figures. If I hadn't got this, I probably would have pulled the trigger on that M113. put some fake shadow under here for where the fuel cans sit, and for maybe some drip diesel. And contrary to popular wisdom, this is one of the few diesel vehicles used by the Germans, I believe. It was made by Tatra. Dobby's Diorama, thank you for the raid. How you doing? That's over on the Twitch side. If anyone's watching from Twitch, give old Dobby a follow, please. If you could. This one's actually been kind of a headache. The kit fits together fine, but the instructions aren't the greatest. They're very vague on some things. But using references, I managed to get most of it put together okay. Alright, no worries. Take it easy, model student. We'll probably still be here.
Dobby's Diorama said I had the same issue on both ends with mine, LOL.
What were you working on?
At JACL 1944 Productions, is the Puma 8x8 drive or 4x4?
It was 8x8 and 8-wheel steer.
Dobby's Diorama said 48 scale F18 Super Hornet from Rebel.
I tried building that kit once a few years ago. I never did. I know which one you're referring to. It's the older Revell boxing. Every time I go to Hobby Lobby, I almost want to buy the 48 scale F14 they've got there. It is the older one, but I've got the Vandy 9 decals for it, where it's the black Tomcat. They're leftovers from the AMK kit. And instead of letting them go to waste, I figured I'd use them. Just could never bring myself to do it, though. Maybe one of these months.
Dobby's Diorama said my father-in-law found it at a thrift store. Everything was in the box except for the cockpit.
Oh, that's when you just use some Aves.
44 Productions said random thought. Panzer 3 or 4 turret on a Puma chassis rolling on the floor laughing emoji rolling on the floor laughing emoji rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
From what I've seen, the Panzer II Lynx turret was used on it for a short period. And that's just from what I saw when I was trying to find information on this. So I knew I was building it right. If DOSWork or TACOM releases another version of this, I'm betting the next one would probably be the 234/1. Because the only thing they'd have to do is tool up a new turret for the 23mm. crazy I'm going to get with the shadowing under here. The tires do block up quite a bit of it. And we're going to be getting some mud and dirt going on in here. But we're playing it by ear.
Bobby's diorama said sorry to raid and run, but I got to start getting ready for work. Have a great stream.
No worries, Dobbies.
JACL 1944.
Take it easy, both of you.
Sorry. BTC. Tearing down my HS jail code layout for moving day. Good luck. Cross fingers emoji. 4-leaf clover emoji.
Well, if everything goes well, there might be a short tonight showing it in its fresh paint. Gotta show progress to get people to watch, you know? Good thing it's got a hand-sized hole in the top for me to hold it by.
Stream Elements said check out my previous work on my Instagram.
I could only imagine this steering and drive system, for as robust as it looks, was probably a maintenance nightmare. So that's why I'm just trying to shadow around where the CV axles go into the hull, some spots on the hubs. So if anything does poke out, it'll look like grease-stained paint from all the leaking and issues that it would have. Deepen the shadows under the fenders a little bit. And that's all this really is for. It's just to help add a little bit of volume under the paint. It's not the end-all be-all, and I'm not going to spend 3 hours taking the tip off my airbrush so I can only paint a 1mm square area every 5 minutes. That's pointless. That's pathetic. I have a life to live. Go. And we might even do some sponge work on it too. We'll find out. Plus 8-wheel drum brakes. Oh. actually. I forgot to do this. We're almost near the fun part that everybody wants, the color application. We're probably not going to go too crazy with the dirt on this. Most of the ones I've seen pictures of that look like they were actively being used were pretty clean. It's only when they got abandoned they got really screwed up. But that's from people climbing on them and doing other things with them. And by the time a lot of them got captured, they'd been run into things. Their fenders were all bashed up. They were pretty rough. Air's drying out even more. I can feel the skin on my face cracking. Welcome to summer in the desert. Let's just give everything kind of a shadow. Oh, we're out of paint. Not out, but the airbrush is out. Probably just enough left to do what I want to do. Just a kind of give everything its own shadow. Probably imperceptible, not even really noticeable. But if it shows through, so much the better. Alright, gotta pause real quick, just one moment. Alright, we're back. Turret. So what's everybody up to this weekend? Making sure I get everything off the sides. Do I want to use this one up first or no? Yeah, we'll go with this one. It's a bit thinner and lighter, so if I need to. Go. I may have over-prepared a bit too. I bought 2 bottles of dark yellow. Don't think I'm probably going to need them. So the thing about pre-shading, you don't have to go back and do all that micro painting you see everybody do, especially when they prime black and you're going over it with a lighter color. You just have to be sure you give the area you left gray a full coat first. And that way when you go back and you missed it, you just use this as an example. that edge still slightly shows through, but the color feels full. And that just helps give it that volume that it needs. Because later on, when you're doing your chipping or anything else, it can help accentuate shadows, shape, the chip. You never know. But it gives it that darker, worn look that it wouldn't otherwise have. And even if it doesn't do that, say this was 72nd scale and you're really not going to do much in the way of chipping like that, it still gives it more visual body than it would have had otherwise. There's no need to paint the whole thing black and then go back and repaint the whole model like this with 5 different tones when you're not going to see all that when you're done. It's a waste of time. And if you're after modeling in terms of MOTTLE or an uneven tone or finish, there's other ways to do that. You don't need to buy $30 photo etch stencils or anything like that. I'll have to see if my gauze will make decent netting in this scale. Because the Germans didn't use Hessian netting like the British did, which is the canvas strips attached to the net. They did use a variation of it, but not the exact same thing. But a lot of times you just see the raw netting. And then, oh, hello everybody. There must have been a glitch. Didn't lose any
As
frames.
Stephen Kessel said, good day everyone.
How you doing, Steven? Welcome back. Another reason I like this model is I've never done a Puma before. Okay, I believe... Okay, I missed that. The periscope housing gets painted black. Not too worried about that. Get this little... Okay. Now, one thing that is weird, and I'm just going to shoot the edges like this. This turret does oddly stick out from the edge of the edge of the vehicle. So, but you can see how with the pre-shading it shows through a little bit. Might hit these corners up with another pass real quick. They look a little dark. But if you want it to be more overpowering, you can. But you can see the shape a lot easier. It's not just, dark yellow. It's got body to it. Do the tops first, then we'll get back and do the undersides a little bit. I at least want to do the rim, leave the inside black. That's where the dust shield for the brake is going to be sitting, so you're not going to see too much of it. Yeah, but this color is just your typical Tamiya XS60 dark yellow. Depending on who you talk to, it's either the perfect color for this, or it's the worst color for this. It works for me. But those same people are the ones that will say they need the 100% accurate color, but by the time they're done, they've done so much to the model and to the paint that the accuracy of the base color is moot. And for a good example of that and how things shift, go watch my Tacom M60 shorts from when it was plastic to base painted to weathered. And you can see when it went from base painting to weathered, the color shifts dramatically from the washes and other things I applied. As long as the color's close enough and you're happy with it, don't worry if that other guy over there is going, but it wasn't mixed by Heinrich in September of 43 at midnight. Who cares?
As Puma does pretty funny stuff as when you put that first clear coat over the paint, everything changes slightly.
Well, what the clear coat does, Tamiya paints especially are bad at it, but in general, when the paint dries, the flat nature of it makes it appear lighter than it is. When you're putting the clear coat on, here's an example. Go to some yard where somebody's got a lot of old cars. Their paint faded and everything. But then put water on one of them. Put water on one of the hoods where the paint's faded but still intact. What the clear coat's doing is basically that same thing. It's leveling it out visually, and it's making it appear as it would when it's wet. So it'll seem darker, but it's not. What I'm talking about is when you start getting your dust effects and your washes and your grits and your earth tones and everything else on, everything shifts. And that can vary from vehicle to vehicle, even in reality. And that makes the point of having these so-called 100% accurate paints kind of pointless. It's like a flex, I guess. And if you're one of those that builds for contests, as far as I'm aware, nowhere in the judging is paint color accuracy ever stated. We might have to make our first break here soon. Yeah, it's been about an hour. My knees starting to throb a little bit. It's all about how you want to do it. If you like doing it this way, keep doing you. To me, that's kind of a waste, but hey. Especially if you're doing that over black primer, you will need to use twice as much paint.
Student20 said not like painting 1/35th scale. A lot bigger just to get done.
You can have more fun with it though because of its larger size. Chipping can be more effective because you can actually replicate something that looks mostly correct in terms of like how the wear is. 35th scale, yeah, there's micro painters out there that do it all the time.
Said black base would ruin that yellow layout to dark.
But there's tons of people out there doing it. Or even a dark mahogany, you know. Yes, they used red-brown primer at the factory. Yes, that can influence the look of the color. Yeah, I get that. I don't care. Ow, fuck. By that logic, I should paint this red-brown, then go along, put a bunch of white chalk marks on it, then paint over it. But first I'll paint it yellow only. I'll fade it, put it in the sun for a while, wait a month, and then when it finally comes time, I'll do the camo. That way the yellow's suitably faded underneath it, so by the time that the unit got it and they put the camouflage pattern on it, it looks right. Nah, we're not playing that game. It's a model. But you can see how it makes that work, the pre-shading.
Student20 said I suppose you could black base just to get all of the recesses, but you'd have to bleach almost a lot of it out with pre-fading. Now you've got 2 coats of paint already and no color yet. Way a crazy color.
Which is what a lot of people do. And especially on aircraft, modern kits these days, their panel lines are so shallow. You're filling those in with just your primer and your pre-fade, your pre-shade color, whatever you want to call it. And from the ones I've seen, because I've seen some where they put like orange on one panel and blue on another and greenish color on another underneath, and then they paint their light gull gray over it for, say, a Vietnam era Navy aircraft, late 70s or 60s into the 70s time frame, maybe even early 80s. By the time they're done painting it, you don't see any of that color variation.
Student20 said I've done it grinning face with sweat.
And then if you do leave that color variation, it looks bad because you're not going to get orange, green, and all that shit showing through in the real aircraft. Yes, they'll be all modeled and they'll be different looking, but that's more from the grease and the dirt and the grime, not because of any kind of underlying color difference. And then you get those who start yelling, you know, color theory and all this. It's like, yeah, I'm not painting the Mona Lisa.
Said gotten away from doing
And if I can get the figures to look good enough and get what I want done on this in other ways, I bet you $5 I could take this out back. It's not RC, but I could do like photos of it on my tank track, and from the right angles, and then shift them to black and white, and you would think they were real. Or even in color, I could desaturate them, give them that period correct look. And you would have to take a second to look at it to say, wait a minute.
Athena Dustin 20 said it looks like they were well sculpted.
Oh, they are. Whoop. Don't wiggle your cup too hard and don't overfill. I broke both rules. Checking something real quick. I ordered a DVD the other day and it still hasn't shown up, but it's supposedly out for delivery now, but they can't confirm it. Just says transferred to another carrier for delivery. I know it's in the region, but it's not here. I don't know how many of you remember the old War of the Worlds TV series filmed up in Canada back in the 80s. Were you stuck, or were you just having weirdness? Anyway.
Athena Dustin 20 said yes.
Years ago I had it on disc. I bought it when I was downrange. And, you know, back after 2008, everybody had hardship, so I sold off a lot of that stuff. And now I'm just trying to get it back. And I found it new, unopened. It's not Blu-ray, it's only DVD. But you're talking about something that was recorded on video, so there's really not much hope for doing a 4K. Even if there was, it wouldn't look that great, so it's best to left to low res anyway. But I like the series. It was fun. I remember staying up late in middle school and early years of high school recording it. I didn't like the second season when they brought the Highlander dude in and they killed off all but like 3 of the main characters from the first series.
At Themodel Student 20 said I watched Appleseed again last night. Wish there were some hits from that IP.
Which Appleseed? The original 80s animated one, the 2005 CG one, or one of the 3 sequels? And if you have a printer, there are kits. Look up Dat Extra Guy on CG Trader. He has Landmates, he has Briarios, he has Duna Newt. And I think he even does the big Octo tank they were trying to shut down in both the original and 2005 version. And if you're wondering why there's so much spider imagery in like Appleseed and Ghost of the Shell, the author likes spiders.
At Themodel Student 20 said I liked that series. I have never liked that Highlander dude for some reason with CG Alpha.
Oh, Alpha's like the 3rd one in the line. You gotta go find the 2005 one. If you want that one. Or find the 80s one with the really bad dub that's just comically awesome.
At Themodel Student 20 asks, does he have a power suit?
The Landmate? I believe so. Give me a sec. He also does the prawn suit from District 9.
At Themodel Student 20 said I've seen them all multiple times. Yeah, the OG is classic.
Trying to find him real quick. That's not him. Are you okay? You're making a lot of noise and running around.
20 asks, cool, the Landmate is awesome. Who is that again?
He goes by Dat Extra Guy. DATEXTRA Guy. I'm just trying to find him. When I don't want to find him, I bump into his stuff all the time, but when I want to find him, I can't. Unless he changed his name. No. Nope. Nope. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find it. You'll have to find it later. He doesn't name his stuff as it's supposed to be named, just for copyright reasons. But yeah, it's out there. Once you find him, you'll know. Yep. His prices aren't terrible, and he's got a lot of stuff to choose from. Even Macross stuff. He's got Macross, Heavy Gear, what was that game? Titanfall. He's got stuff from that. You notice I'm playing a little looser on the underside with everything else that's going to be going on here. Overall perfection isn't necessary. And if you're thinking, oh, why didn't you paint it before you put the fenders on? Easier said than done. Yeah, you gotta look carefully for his Appleseed stuff, but it's there.
Said he does have awesome stuff. Oh, okay. Rolling on the floor like a
Popped another brake line. I'll have to fix that. Oh well. Keep on painting. Never give up, never surrender. Don't stop painting. Blah, blah, blah. If you don't have paint all over yourself, you're not doing it right. You know, all the usual stupid, you know, be a man type shit. Even though, to be fair, I probably should open my windows. But yeah, if I had this kit to build over from the start, I would replace the plastic brake lines with a bendable wire. Something a bit more flexible but still firm. I'm trying to stay within camera for you guys. Sorry if I go out. I never did take my break to stretch my knee, and it's telling me that now. I just want to get this base paint done, then we'll do that. Then I can come back and do some yellow fading before I start the camouflage. I've slowed down on my printing file purchases though, because I really need to get a lot more stuff finished before I go buying more files. Probably won't see any of that with the wheels on, but just in case.
At Themodelston 20 said my neighbor came home last night with 2 add-up popcorn thingies. These things are huge, cost $80 each and sell for big bucks on eBay.
Jesus.
I thought we were the crazy ones.
All
Rolling on the
for
floor laughing
a
emoji.
marketing grab. Remember, guys, back in 2013, we thought Disney buying Star Wars was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And don't you deny it. Now look where we are. Every movie's got a plastic popcorn bucket, and they're usually Disney-associated films. Alien Romulus, popcorn bucket. Guess who owns Fox? Disney! Dune, rather suggestive popcorn bucket. I believe there was a Disney tie there, too, since most of the actors in the film were out-of-work Marvel and Star Wars actors. Honestly, I still think the best Imperial Walker kit, and this is a hill I will die on.
At Themodelston 20 said Deadpool ones go for retarded money.
Yeah, Deadpool
Epic
shit.
Entertainment.
Yeah, I said it. Ryan Reynolds can suck a dick. But I still think the best Imperial Walker kit out there is the original NPC kit.
At Themodelston 20 said he's gay.
Well, I wasn't going to say that out loud, because that can get me in trouble. No, the reason I don't like him is he's just constantly snarky. He's one of those people that if you were to meet him in real life, you wouldn't know if they were being serious or not about anything. And that can cause real problems.
At Themodelston 20 said that was the 3rd kit I built, made a little base for it is still one of my favorites.
But proportionally, the NPC kit's the best. Detail-wise, it's right on the money. Even scale-wise.
At Themodelston 20 said I said it, and I'm not sorry he's a twerk weirdo.
That I'll agree with. He is a weirdo. I just never liked him from the start. And I'm sorry he's, Canadian. But as far as Deadpool goes, I watched the first movie, and never looked back. I didn't get the hype around it. I'm like, okay, it's a guy that makes suggestive jokes all the time and can regrow body parts.
At ThemoDusted20 said I made a wireless for one of the snow cheaters going around the legs and one crashed into a snow pile. No mini Luke though.
I almost want to get that kit. It's been reissued. I almost want to get it and see what I could do with it now. Rescribe it, use some strip styrene to really add the missing details. You know, just really give it a good going over. Getting the insides of these while I can. I'll have to hold off on the glass retaining blocks.
At ThemoDusted20 said oddly I enjoy comics and graphic novels, but not always the fans.
Because in the comic and the graphic novel, you can put your own inflection on what's being said given what you read and how you read it. In the film, you have to deal with somebody trying to bring that character to life, and that's never going to fit everybody's expectation of what they want from that character. It's never going to fit that way. Kind of like in '89 when Michael Keaton was supposed to play Batman. Everybody hated it. Then they saw it and they're like, holy shit. Or, 2007 and 8 when Heath Ledger was playing the Joker and everyone's like, oh, he's gonna suck as the Joker. Then he played the Joker. Holy shit. But my dislike of Deadpool also extends from my overall exhaustion of Marvel saturation all around me, no matter where I go. No matter where I look, there's something Marvel. Even where I work, and I work someplace you wouldn't expect to see Marvel shit. There's Marvel shit.
At ThemoDusted20 said Scott Snyder did a CMS hair. I'm surprised hasn't been adapted yet.
Yeah, there's how many decades of novels written now? Since even, let's say, 2000? And here we are, still retreading movies and ideas from the 90s. Even comic books. Come on, guys. Let's, That's why Hail Mary did so well. Ah, fuck. It is because it's different. It's new. I'm sure if you sat back long enough, you could pick it apart and say, oh, there's a problem there, there's a problem there. But we're not doing it because we have no want to shred the validity of the film. A lot of people miss the biggest in-joke in the entire film.
At ThemoDusted20 said they do seem to be creatively bankrupt.
So how does the line go? You're saying your prayer. Hail Mary. What's the next line? Anyone who's seen A Bridge Too Far knows it. Hail Mary, full of grace. What was the main character's name?
At ThemoDusted20 said I enjoyed.
I haven't seen it. My feed has been inundated with ads for it. Makes me want to see it less. I'm waiting till the hype goes away when I can actually watch it on my own without the surrounding
At ThemoDusted20
hype.
said I liked the ending.
Don't give it away. Because I do have an interest in seeing it, but I want to see it clear. I want to see it without all the hype surrounding it. Oh, yeah, it's been an hour and a half. I need to stand up and move around. I can feel my knee just tightening more and more. So I'm going to put up the pause. I will be back momentarily.
At the Model Student 20 said I didn't really know what to expect and was pleasantly surprised. Get up and get some blood flow.
Alrighty. I'm going to see if I can shift this a little lighter on the upper sides. Just a hair. I need an empty bottle. Empty bottle. So I've got this 2 light mixed I want to mix this about 50-50 with dark yellow. And see if that makes it pale enough to just slightly fade it. Because I still feel like this color's a little strong. That's if they'll mix. I don't even know the makeup of that other paint.
Era Studios just redeemed free hugs.
Ah! How's the server setup going? You treating your servers nicely? Giving them tips?
Era Studios said servery.
Servery? You should name it Snape. Cerberus Snape. I'll go hide in my room now.
Era Studios said haha haha haha.
Hey, I'm a dad. I can make dad jokes. And bad jokes. Because dad jokes are bad jokes.
Puma Student 20 said rolling on the floor laughing emoji. Era Studios said you got a moan from Black.
I don't know how to take that. Either he didn't like it or he really, really liked it.
Era Studios said gay.
Giggity goo. Yeah, I'm gonna have to glue the barrel in place. I just...
Era Studios asks is it redeemed?
Yeah, it's just... I use the aluminum barrel instead of the plastic one, and it's too floppy. There's no way to really get the trunnion, the way they have it built, to stay in place. And I've tried putting clear coat in there after the fact. Oh, haha. I've tried putting clear coat in there and just to kind of fill in the gap and tighten it up, gum it up a little bit. Still didn't work. And this really isn't working that much either. Thought it was later, but turns out it's probably not. But we've done it now, so I got to do the rest to kind of match the tone. Oh, yeah, it is lightening it a little bit. Ka-chow. For this, I'm really only concentrating on the upper hull. We're not going to put any of this on the lower. Maybe it is working. I don't know. We'll see what the end results give us. How's that? I'm still debating if I should stream Monday or not. I guess it lightened it up a little bit. Looks a little less rich, I guess you could say. It's not as vibrant orangey yellow. So it looks like the brown stripes go over the green stripes, so let's get the green down.
At PumaPainting said definitely changed it.
Clean this out.
At PumaPainting said looks even better now.
A little bit more variety. It's a nice day out today. Wish it would rain. It's weird this year. Places that normally don't get rain are getting flooded, and places that normally get it ain't getting shit. Wonder why. Like, what was it last year? The Saudis screwed up their cloud seeding so much they flooded themselves? Mix this a bit longer. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to take another walk around. I can feel my knee tightening up again. I want to get that kind of under control. Maybe take some ibuprofen.
Ephemedelstein20 said we were supposed to get rain all week, haven't had any.
Yeah, the forecast has been doing that ever since winter. Just, they forecast, hey, you're supposed to get this, you're supposed to get that. And none of it happens. But yeah, I'm going to pause again and be right back. I need to move around more. Alright, I'm back. I'm just taking some ibuprofen, having something to eat with it. Not supposed to take it on an empty stomach. Turd in a bag, or a chocolate Twinkie. What's funny is all these camo schemes they give me. There's 4 different ones for the model. What's the one view missing that would really come in handy? I'd like to know what it looks like on top. I guess I'll have to fake it till I make it. And a Rice Krispie treat. All the kitties are upstairs on the couch. They're ignoring me today. Alrighty, let's give this cat its stripes. Nice thin line there. Wow, the color differentiation on this really sucks. Good job, Ammo. sorry for being a little quiet. Just trying to get my old ass eyes to figure out what the fuck I'm looking at. Because the dark green and the dark brown look almost the same tone. And I know I ain't colorblind. See what I mean? Actually, the color difference shows up better on screen than it does in paper. I'm making the cleaning rods hum. So I figure the way I can do the roof around the turret is once I get the turret's colors lined up, I put it on and then line these up with what's on there somehow. And again, to those who are always making masks and stuff like that to paint this camouflage, that's trying a bit too hard. These things were painted by kids who had methamphetamine chocolate, for crying out loud. Probably had some beer or schnapps while they were doing it. And the lines weren't straight because they couldn't see straight. They just painted it. I'm probably exaggerating, but you know what I'm getting at. As far as I'm aware, aside from the aircraft, there was no standardized paint scheme for anything else. And even the aircraft, the only way it was standardized was the wings and the top if it had this sharper splinter scheme. If it was something else, like the night scheme on the 219, then again, you're looking at something that's completely random. Another reason I had to take the ibuprofen, I still have a little bit of a dull ache from my crown. It's really acting up today, and it shouldn't be. Trying to think of a movie or something I want to watch tonight. Don't want to get stuck doom scrolling again. I hate it when I do that. Trying to think of something I haven't watched in a while either. Really? They just mirrored this shit? Yeah. Wow, talk about lazy. Alright, looks like I'm off on my own then. So what's everybody else working on this weekend? I know Aries has his Space Marine tank. What's your next project model, student? I know you were talking about that Lost in Space pod. You gonna go get it? You should. Give the plastic spaceship a home. Paint the turret next, and then we'll fill in the missing stuff on top. What would you all like my next big project to be? Since I seem to be getting wishy-washy about it lately, give me your feedback. What would you like to see me build next? Oh, jeez. Ha ha ha. It could be something we've talked about before, something we're already kind of planning on, something to get me out of a funk, which I kind of feel like I'm in lately. Doesn't matter, give me a suggestion. Now the fun part. I have to join up all these squiggles to all those squiggles somehow, and make it make sense. Not really. Some of them are in good places, some of them aren't. That actually worked out for that one. Not that you're ever going to see the turret line back up like this. I'm going to have it at an angle. But this is how you do it when the company doesn't give you a top-down view and decides to mirror the pattern left and right on the vehicle. This is DOSWork. I didn't even know Trumpeter made one. Thank you for the follow, Airman Ranger. Yeah, this is the DOSWork one, and like I said in a couple streams already, it builds well. The instructions will have you tearing your hair out because they tell you to do things you don't need to do. I do have something in mind along those lines, model student. Aries got me the 350th scale Martian tripods from War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one. But I don't like the base, and I was thinking of doing a small scale kind of cityscape or something, or do something with each tripod individually, you know? Just trying to figure out what I would do. But yeah, for all the wonderfulness, Airman.
And the Rager said I'm working on a 148 ICM
TACOM really allowed the pooch to be screwed on this one. Because I know it's TACOM that does the tooling. Even says so on the box. But for all their vaunted, you know, partnerships with certain other companies, they fucked up the camouflage sheet. It probably won't show very well. Left and right patterns mirrored. We know for a fact that ain't right. And they don't give you a top-down view. I gotta clean the brush. I'd just like to know if this particular Puma still exists, because I've seen pictures of it online in storage at what has become Bovington. So is it part of their collection, just sitting somewhere getting rusty and dusty where it's not on public view? Did it get trashed? I know they have a different version of the 234/4, the Stummel version. Yeah, I'm just trying to connect the dots with the camo pattern to make it seem reasonably possible that this is how it was painted without having a actual real pattern to go off of. So how's that ICM kit treating you? I haven't built ICM in a long time. Are you displaying it with the engine open or closed? Because I found with a lot of ICM and Edward kits lately, they tool it so well that the cowl is too thick because they got everything else scaled properly. So it's almost like if you want to have the engine on display, you're good to go. If you want to have it in the model but closed up, you've got to leave it out and just glue the propeller to the front. Oof, yeah. Then again, it is Russian, so you could just get away with saying, oh, it fits as well as it can. I don't think anybody would blame you. this is going to go here. This is going to go here. And we're just going to kind of eyeball where it goes on here. Because it's open. And no one's really going to be able to verify or not. That closed, that'll be right in the middle, going across here. Yeah, we're gonna go with that, yeah. And this is gonna go match up with this little bugger over here. That is gonna come up here and back around to here. And we still have to do this with the dark brown. So we're just going to have this come right along through here. Get my thumb there. Stop it. Come up this way and then down that way. But that's what I like about German World War II camo. You can kind of play fast and loose with it and not really break too many rules. That looks natural. I haven't built a prop job in a while, have I? Well, I've got the Kitty Hawk Bronco to finish up still. I guess I could get off my ass and finish that one day. Despite what the reviews say, the kit's actually very nice.
At FEMA-20 said that's a cool plan.
Yeah, it would have been neat to see that that Viper in the same paint scheme. Shame. Not every day you see an AH-1 in the green, black, and gray. I had to bite my tongue at work the other day. We've got a relatively new person there. I hope so. So, common misconception. A10 was designed to fit around the GAU-8. Wrong. Why A10's first flight was 1969 or 70, with a 20mm gun system in it. The GAU-8 program didn't even start till 70, and from what I remember, it wasn't fully adopted until 77, but they had enough of the gun designed before the A10 entered full production, they were able to design it to fit the GAU-8. So the A10 actually came first, and the gun was retroactively made to fit in it, and then the plane was adjusted. But he caught me off by trying to say, oh, no, the A10 was designed to carry the gun. No, it wasn't. They were actually designed in concert, really. But, you know, what would I know?
Dustin20 said, I don't want to glue on the canopy doors yet until my display case is finished. I know I'll end up with a casualty otherwise.
If you hard glue that rotor in place, that's the only place you're going to need to pick it up. I don't pick mine up often, but I haven't had to worry about that with mine. Alright, now, do I use my NATO brown or do I use a different color? NATO brown's been working well as the German brown for me, for World War II stuff, so I think I'll stick with it. Yeah, looks like we're going to be going over 3 hours on this stream today, but that's fine. I want to get this thing base painted. That way I can clear coat it, get the decals done, and then Monday or Tuesday, like I said, I may not stream Monday. I might just take that day as a full down day and just really kind of try and rest. I'll have to see how I feel on Sunday. Plus I'm closing Sunday night, so I'll be home late.
Dustin20 said, maybe I'll be okay. I didn't glue rotor on, but you can gab that part of the body where it goes, I guess.
That's where you do most of my gabbing. It gabs a lot, yeah. I can see the model student on the other side of the monitor just flipping me off. Fuck you. Yeah, I think my other German brown's too dark. Yeah. Maybe.
Dustin20 said, rolling on the floor laughing emoji.
And it's that stupid mission models crap. I don't want to deal with that, so yeah, we're gonna go with NATO brown. God, I've got pots of NATO brown that are freaking 20 years old, 21 years old. I feel like that guy with the wire. Let me see here. None of them have the... Oh, yeah. That one's got... Yeah, this has one of the original stickers left on it from the hobby shop in Cambridge. Off of, I think it was Burley Street, out behind the city center. That'll work. Maybe when I do the photos for this, I should have the stud 4 in the background, do them outside for the final pictures. That's working out just fine. Go across this patch again. Does Trumpeter do a 16 scale Puma? I never looked into it. Airman, if you're still there, do you have a link to that by chance? Now we get to go back to this. Take the turret back off. shovels and stuff will be getting painted properly. I'm just painting over them right now. Get some music going again. It feels good to be at this point with the build. There we go. Needle got to build up. Okay, we're over halfway done painting now. Hey Frankie, hey Marbles. No, it's definitely starting to feel a bit more complete now. We're getting there, guys. Should have a good short update tonight with the new pattern and all that on it. Yeah, but the next stream, either Monday or Tuesday, we'll cover at least the initial washes and weathering. I'll throw a quick clear coat on it and get the decals on it probably tonight or tomorrow. That's right, it's mirrored. I don't want to bother with it. if I do another model in 16 scale German outside of the Leopard 2A7 that we're saving up for, I might do the R75 in sidecar. So, model student, you're the Gundam guy around here, right? Gundam really doesn't have a 350th scale though, does it? Just 1/144th. Because I'm trying to figure out how to do good buildings for the War of the Worlds stuff. Because I know it sounds weird, I want to try and light one of them. I might be able to do it. At least the main eye.
And Puma Student 20 said 144 yes.
Okay, because I need 350th, not 144th. Maybe I can look at some of the BattleTech terrain stuff. That might be suitable. And I completely forgot to paint the rest of the green on the barrel, so we're going to be doing that again after we do the red.
Puma Student 20 said I was looking at those 3D wooden buildings with the Japanese buildings. They look like maybe 350 scale. They don't say specifically, but I watched the build, and the size looks like about 1/350th.
I know, like the... Oh, what's the one? I think the Kyoto one is like more like 1/500 scale. Something oddball like that. I think I know the kits you're talking about. They're some of the older ones, but they're not bad. I was thinking of doing one as the farmhouse scene. Just have it standing there staring at somebody with a little spotlight LED on it. Let's see how off my guesswork is this time. Not terribly. Okay. Wow, sometimes it almost looks like I know what the hell I'm doing. Most times I really don't. Most of the time I'm trying to guess this stuff as much as you guys are. Maybe that's what I could do, is look for a 3/50th scale farmhouse, and instead of having them in the city scene like they come in the box, actually kind of do the scene from the film, where that one has its little investigating tentacle down in the basement. better. Okay. Alright, we'll load the green back up, fix the barrel. Give it the clear. But at least the pattern's doing what it's supposed to. It's breaking up the silhouette. I guess that's one way of telling if you got it right. Put some 91% through it real quick. Oh, so I hope everybody enjoyed the stream today. Just about 3 hours, 20 minutes. Yeah, I haven't painted the exhaust because I'm going to treat them separately outside of the regular paint cycle. Just so I can get them really nasty, rusty looking. So we got these two light gray lumps back here. Before we end, I'm going to give this its clear coat. It'll tie everything down, tie everything together, and get the decals on. But yeah, I won't be on this Sunday. Be working that day. Got a lot of people taking vacation, so our schedules are all kinds of getting a little sideways here and there. Ooh, that was close.
At Themodel Student 20 said no Sunday show.
Well, I gotta work. I don't know about Canada, but Monday is National Barbecue Day for us. That's not July 4th. I don't know what other places do for Veterans Day. Or not Veterans Day, Memorial Day. I always think they got those backwards, because Memorial Day, you would think would be more fitting for the end of World War I, so November 11th, you know? Memorialize it. It's the cold day, it's the end of the Great War. Veterans Day should be the day kicking off the summer with the barbecues and the fun. Instead, the veterans get the cold, depressing month, and Memorial Day is in the nice, warm time. I really think they got those backwards. But that's me. Ah, fuck. But yep, no Sunday this week. Or next week, I think. A lot of schedule shifting going on. But that's okay. Not looking for a perfectly even gloss surface, but just enough. The decals will bite, and the surface looks leveled enough. So when I throw the decals on, they'll stick okay. Ow. If tomorrow doesn't hit me too bad, we could have another stream in the evening. Try and make up for the lack of one Sunday, but I can't promise anything. Okay. Let's get the rims out here. Alright, so yeah, I think that will be it. Let this dry for a day. But I should be able to get the tires back on it and do another short for it tonight. See how that does. The other one got up to 1.2K views so far. Yeah. But I hope you like where it's going so far. And I picked a vehicle that I know at least survived the war. I'm sure somebody else out there might know more if it was destroyed, if it was melted down like the mouse, or by some chance does Bovington still have it in storage and just no one's seen it in a very, very long time. The turret number is 1111. It was captured with that on it, so it should still be wearing it if it hasn't been fully restored. One of the indicators of it is this box here. It was captured with the crow's foot antenna. But all of my searching has resulted in nothing but the original pictures from the 40s after its capture in storage. And it's hidden next to what looks like a Wesp and I think a Churchill and an M3 Lee. That's what leads me to believe it might be in storage at Bovington still. But hey, maybe somebody in the UK could reach out and see if they still have it. Davos, do you feel like being up to that challenge? Because I thought you could go in and ask, or you could message them or write to them or something, asking about certain things, and they would do their best to find the information. Alright.
09 Davos asks him about Bit not paying attention. What do you need?
Searching for references on the Puma, you know, I came across one that had been captured and was in storage, and it has the actual turret numbers that are in this kit. The last known storage place was down in what became Bovington. Give me 1 second.
Aero Studios said looking good.
I don't think they'd...
Aero Studios just redeemed free hugs.
Now let me see if I can find the picture again. And I'll send a link. Okay, I think I found the series that the picture's in.
09 Davos said it might be in Bovington still.
Yeah, so I'm gonna send you a link. And in the picture, yeah, it looks like some kind of Panzer III chassis. There's a Panther, Jag Panther, a Churchill, but you can see on the far right of the picture, it's in the picture itself's in the upper left corner of a collage. But you see the turret 1111, and then there's others showing the vehicle. It would just be interesting to see if it still exists, because it's not on display. And it says here, School of Tank Technology, UK, circa 1940s. Went to the UK as a trophy, apparently scrapped in 50s. I don't know. This could be the same one. But the picture is from the Tank Museum. So yeah, let me put this in chat. I don't see them throwing something like that out when they've got the 234-4 on display.
Builder 4071 sent a link.
But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. It's been 3.5 hours, so a bit longer than usual. Gonna let it dry, get the wheels back on it later tonight, and do another short.
Davos said might be in the conservation center.
I don't know, but it would be interesting to submit a request to see what's up with it. Been,
09 Davos said a mice speak.
yes, mice. The best laid plans of mice. But yeah, I'm gonna be calling it a stream for now. We've reached a good stopping point. Got the goal for the day done.
Said good painting, sir.
Thank you. I know you've been lurking for a while, so. And it doesn't have to be you that does it. Just anyone in the UK, or if you know somebody with contacts, you know. Just throw it out there and see what comes back. For all we know, it probably did get melted down.
At Themodel Student 20 said awesome stream paint came out brain.
Thank you, model student. But if I don't see y'all Monday, I'll see y'all Tuesday. Maybe tomorrow. Might work on the crew, the figures. Get them started a little bit. I don't know. I'm kind of just playing things by ear right now. But yeah, I will see you all later. Y'all have a good night and take it easy. Have a good weekend. I won't have one yet until Monday. And yeah,